Hi, my name's Michael, and this is my buddy Shawn, who I got to draw some pictures to help me tell you this story. When I was 16, my family started going to a new church that was bigger than all others we'd been. I mainly got involved with the youth group, and to give you some perspective, whereas most youth groups have somewhere around 30 or 50 kids, ours had 30 guys in my grade alone, not mentioning the same number of girls in that times all 6 grades. And it was a big youth group. Despite the size, actually, I got involved really quick. The guys in my grade were split into 2 groups of 15, and the one they put me in welcomed me instantaneously. I remember we spent the night at the leader's house one time and really got to know each other. We had a lot of fun, but we also had a lot of great conversations, and I could tell this was the type of church environment I was wanting all along. After a while, though, the group began shunning me. It was all very subtle, and I didn't notice it for a long time. I would still contribute to the Bible study, but everything outside Bible study was odd. They didn't really make eye contact, they only talked to me when it would have been super awkward not to, and they didn't invite me along to anything that they might be doing afterwards. I began to hang out with the guys from the other life group more, and they told me the others were very cliquish and that there was no chance of really becoming their friends. What? Why are cliques happening at church? I'd been shaped by the tutorial I went to, where there was actually a rule in the handbook that said no cliques. Obviously, friend groups are bound to happen just because of how we get along, but if someone wanted to become a part of that friend group, you were supposed to let them. This problem at church felt like the antithesis of that, and especially here where we are preaching that we're supposed to have Christ's love for everyone. Obviously not. I finally admitted that they were clicking me out, and when I did, I realized that in every conversation it was like I was strapping on boxing gloves and fighting for my place in the conversations. 2 years went by where I was strapping on boxing gloves every time I went into a conversation with them. I was still pretty determined and hopeful, but I had had enough. So at the last retreat that we would have before leaving high school, I decided to single them out each one-on-one and talk to them, because I knew I was better in those types of conversations, and it's hard to ignore me if I'm the only one talking to you. When I did, though, it was worse. It felt like there was this wall there that I'd hit and try to break through, and no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I cared, no matter if I followed the advice from the online articles or whatever, it didn't work. After the conversations, I'd walk away feeling completely drained and bad about myself, like I was failing somehow by not being the right type of person or not saying the right types of things to be their friends. After doing this with all 20 of the guys the whole week, I gave up. I went back to the hotel room we and the other seniors from the group were staying at and complained. They were kind of surprised that I had broken because I'd been the only one for a while who had held up hope. During the conversation, one of the guys had gone up to get water, but when he had been gone for about 30 minutes, I decided to go and find him. I wandered downstairs in the hotel and was surprised to see him and the other group of guys seated behind some glass doors in the hotel's conference room. And then, these guys who I'd been punching walls for conversations all week wildly waved me in. They sat me down and, as apparently they'd been doing for Alec, all went around the room and apologized to me individually. They said that, in the end, they had shunned me for petty reasons, like that I was smart or that I wore blue jean shorts and Crocs. Apparently, they had been treating one of the leaders the same way, and when that leader had confronted them about it, they had apologized, and of their own accord switched to talking about us, which was about the same time my friend went to go look for water. The next day, out of habit, I geared up for hard conversations, only the wall wasn't there. Conversations were suddenly easy and free. They were being their real selves with me again, and overall it was the most enjoyable day of the trip. I wish I could say it was happily ever after, but the truth is we still struggle with this a lot today. Sometimes I'm still putting on the punching gloves. But that's a part of what I'm learning. God's love is rough, it's hard, and it's real. And so sometimes that means that it's very unpleasant, even for us. Sometimes God's love is a fight, and that fight doesn't stop.